Hello, everybody. This is Living Where the Darkness, not Living Where the Darkness. This
What?
is the Dark Crusade, where we have our scene in the huge bazaar. It's nighttime. Bazaar is not closed yet. The Regis has sent a human messenger to meet with Lady Irene at the bazaar for a walk. As he waits for Irene to arrive.
Yep. She would have received said messenger and had sent him back, basically saying that she would accept the invite and would be there, well, at the arranged time. And she would, yeah, um, get dressed, well, get dressed more properly, and would make her way from the noble's quarter to the bazaar, which is not too far. So she would go on foot. And would look for Regis.
The Regis is wearing his yellow robe and the this nice outfit that he has. He doesn't wear it all the time, but like he has many different outfits and many different colors, which is kind of weird for a city like this. But he usually doesn't mind when people looks at him. He likes people looking at him. Um, he sees Irene, and he has this really sweet smile on his face.
And Irene is wearing a kind of modest dress, really. She has more elaborate dresses, especially the one that she got from Ulrich like a couple of months ago. Um, but for like a trip in the bazaar, that is really too encumbering. So yeah, she would have picked a more simple dress from very high quality fabric, though.
Mhm.
And she wears a brush, um, which is shaped in a very beautiful flower on her chest, which was a gift from a Bruja, actually, a Bruja childer. And yeah, she as she spots Regis, she will approach him, warm smile on her face, and will curtsy.
He will say, "You don't really need to do that in here, at least."
It's a common courtesy, Sir Regis.
I know it is, but friends usually don't show each other curtsies.
That is true, I guess. I prefer to keep etiquette until told otherwise. It is usually the more safer route to go.
I understand. You're lovely as ever tonight.
I could say the same for you. Thank you very much, though.
Thank you. Would you like to walk?
Yes, please.
He slowly walks. He has a knife, but like the knife is not sheatheded. It stays in its place. It is like when he just walks in the city, and when it doesn't go to Elysium, he carries a knife with himself.
Mhm.
Um, he doesn't have bodyguards or something like that. He walks really casually. Um, his his legs are usually towards the out. Like usually the people's legs are like straight, but his steps are towards kind of like distant from each other. Every step kind of shakes the kind of like tests the ground. He
Mhm.
enjoys this feeling of being casual or being relaxed as he kind of turns towards her, look at her, smile that is kind of known to him as you know him for like 1 week now, but like you met him more than one time. He usually has that smile, and he says, "So you had your first problem in Elysium?" As he says Elysium in a whisper.
And she stays silent for a bit. Actually, I should note that there is probably, I believe there is a retainer with her, who is some sort of a guard, but she will keep him like at a distance.
The If there is a guard that he doesn't know if it's a ghoul or not, he will say, "You have been insulted in the social gathering."
Mhm. I mean, she keeps him like out of ears, like they can talk normally without him hearing it. It's like a couple
Mhm.
of, like a safe distance behind them, and but she will nod, and she says, "Well, it was to be expected after the declaration of my sire, and it is. I think it is a good thing to know what is being whispered in the hallways, as well what's being said to your face, as there's usually a huge difference between the both of them."
That is true. He smiles because that's another wise thing the Irene said. And he says, "Well, it is misfortune that the some people likes to play their cards so openly."
A misfortune? I don't know. I can appreciate some honesty. I prefer honesty myself if I have the option.
I prefer honesty as well, but the open animosities is
Mm.
different. It is sad that the individual gets really brave to insult you
Well,
and call you a name that is not really you.
I was surprised at that as well, but as said, I prefer it be out in the open for everyone to see his behavior. It is a shame, though, that this individual happens to be the leader of this that clan. Well,
It is really brave to insult one of the members of a leading family.
hmm,
As as far as I can see, your family is not alone in ruling this city.
we are indeed not alone. But even if we were, the result would be no different. I doubt my, well, family, as you put it, would leave an insult hanging like that. But then again, I am still very young, and he is not. So, to a certain extent, he holds a sway over the crowd that I will not be able to, well, achieve right now.
That is true and untrue at the same time. Would you like to know why?
Enlighten me.
Well, everywhere in the world there are differences. In some places, calling a Tremere to a Simisi can be a death sentence. In other places, calling Kitif to El Sombra, who has been taken by such prestigious member of a leading clan, can be really distasteful. You do not just yourself when you are in politics. Your sire has great interest in you. He invests in you, and that Nosferatu did not insult himself. He also insulted your sire. He, your sire wouldn't be able to do it without your clan's decision, or his sire would be mad. So, you see what I'm saying? He did not just insult you there.
No, I realize that, and I can assure you that, well, I would like to say the insult did not go unnoticed. However, I feel in a public place and with the booming voice that this gentleman had, the insult did not go unnoticed to anyone, nor my reaction. I say that in itself is a victory.
You
He
have,
failed.
please.
Mm.
The, to be honest, Irene, you won your first victory because most people think the battlefield is where the battles happen. The Elysium is a big battlefield, and some people are really good at that battlefield.
I hope to count myself amongst them one day.
I think you already are. He kind of smiles.
She lowers her gaze and smiles as well. Thank you, my lord.
Please, Regis.
Of course, Sir Regis.
The weirdly, the he kind of like thinks for a second before he says, weirdly, the things doesn't go lucky, or sometimes you do not have the patience to deal with these individuals. I wish you really accepted my offer in taking the wine that day. But don't think I am a person who left you alone willingly, because I did not mean to. I like to choose the interactions I am going to have. As I've said, it's a battlefield, and if you have the advantage of the terrain, you have an advantage.
I I agree on that. However, I did pick this battlefield. I was aware that there were rumors, and I realized at some point I would have to face these rumors one way or another. I was prepared for this fight. Even though I was not aware where it would take place, I knew it would happen. And it was something that I don't think I could have avoided. Besides, avoiding such a conflict at that point with that announcement would have been showing weakness in itself. Of course, I'm not stating that I consider your choice to avoid conversation weak. you were not in the position that I was in.
You have every right to consider how you want to consider. It is your prerogative. Let's just say it that way. I let people make their own judgments about me. As a individual, I do not think that you are what you say you are, but you're mostly what other people say.
I take it you mean that in a general way and not to my person specifically.
You know, the when you bring the technicality, I heard someone saying, technically she is this, technically she is that. Technicality, well, you are maybe something to that person. For me, you are an individual who's really clever for her own age and has great wisdom.
I have had the good fortune of having excellent teachers.
Like Madeline, maybe?
Like Madeline, indeed.
You know, it's Lord is a really nice person.
He is. He is a very good friend.
Hmm. He smiles.
Well, there's one more thing that I could say about this particular insult. The fact that the head of a family chooses a public place to publicly speak to me like that. I guess it shows that the head of a family, with all its power and all its influence in our world, is apparently seeing me as a threat that needs to be neutralized or an adversary that needs to be tested. That says enough about my reputation, but also about his. I think he did himself a great injustice by stepping out into the world like that.
He smiles. Then he says, I think giving a warning, giving an advance like this to you is good for you. The word he used is not an easy one. There are places where they are killed, where those kind are killed without question. That means he shows you an interest in a violent way.
Yes, but it also gives me information.
He nods.
This game that we play, it's it is always a risk. Whether you win or lose the first step, in the end doesn't matter. You need to win the game. For as far as it can be won, of course. I'm
This, go on, go on, go on. Sorry.
no, please, please go.
This game doesn't have a winner. This game has individuals who looks like they are winning for their time. The game has really small games inside of it where it starts and ends, but weirdly, politics never ends.
I'm afraid you are right. I just hope that I can use my time to play this game in a way that would benefit my family and, of course, the city.
Do you know what is the biggest secret when it comes to us?
She'll look at him, waiting for him to continue.
It is individuals who thinks honor, love, or different things to be the main emotion for having childers or creating a new canite. But most of them lie to themselves as the 99, most of the canites creates childers to gain more power. My sire has created me for different reasons than most, but she still wanted something out of me.
I do not fully know why my sire chose to help me, nor do I know why I was given this life. All I know is what I want to do with it. And sometimes even that is difficult. I am still young enough to have trouble with the concept of eternity.
I don't want to be a individual is gonna break your dreams. I actually simply want to give you better ones, as it side smirks. But no person is ever free, only children and fools thinks elsewise. We're always owned by something, always. And as Canaanites, we're owned by our own hunger.
I I like to see myself as someone who has dreams and goals, but I am a realist enough that I understand your words and accept them as truth. Well, I have not, I've never ignored the wishes of my elders, and I've always strived to do what is required of me, but that does not mean that I cannot have my own dreams and goals. although small, as one of my standing should have.
The maybe in 1,000 years, Irene will create her own dream.
Maybe in 1,000 years, who knows? Not I. My my vision of the future is limited.
My father always told me he never could have said the things I said to him, to his father. Times change and alliances shift.
They do. They do. And we can only, well, I was going to say we can only wait for what the future brings us, but that is not entirely true.
We can work for the future. It can be a possibility.
Yes. Do you have, I maybe need to walk it for a moment. What are you doing?
Oh shit, I thought I was muted. I'm sorry.
No. That is fine. I mean, we'll look up to Regis. So if I may be as bold as to ask, do you have any plans for the future? Any dreams or hopes?
Of course I do. I wouldn't live if I didn't have those things.
She waits for a couple of seconds to see if you would add something to it or just leave it at that.
And you wish to ask what are those?
I would not want to pry in your private affairs, of course, but I would like to learn from, well, my elders, whether they are part of my family or not, and to learn of one's dreams after being alive for so long is something that interests me, yes.
What if you give me one secret, I give you another? That way we can be that way we can be friends
Mm.
in a better way.
A secret for a secret is fine, but I would like to request that you ask your question before answering mine so that we both know what the questions are, and if any of us would refuse to want to answer, that the other one wouldn't give away information.
Of course. I was just gonna ask, what are your goals other than being a good person for the clan? Selfish goals.
Mm. I can answer that, but I don't think it would be very fair.
It doesn't matter. Answer is an answer, deal is a deal.
Very well, then I will answer your question. My, I am afraid that I, so far, have little personal goals. I had decided to to forgo any goals until I would be experienced enough to reach a higher status.
You
My
know, it's
goals so far are simply to learn and study, to get to know our society, and to make a good impression, of course.
when it comes to my goals, I like fine things in life. I like to drink the best wine. I like to drink. I like to eat the best dinner. And I would like to kiss the best lips. As he kind of gives her a look of like a side smirk.
Those are interesting goals indeed.
Hmm.
No, she's not shutting him down.
The Regis says, interesting goals.
Mm, it is. I wonder why that is a goal. And don't get me
Which
wrong.
one?
Well, all of them really, because they can all be summed up in wanting the best, no matter what that is, which I can understand, and even to a certain degree, I aim for the same thing. I just wonder why you aim for those goals. What's the reason behind it?
Hmm. Every individual tries to achieve greatness in a way they
Hmm.
perceive it. The way I perceive it, greatness isn't greatness if you're not happy.
So your goal is to achieve happiness.
Yes,
That is quite beautiful.
thank you.
And is that also the reason why you came to Edessa?
It's not the reason I came at Edessa. The reason I came at Edessa is I heard a stern leadership in Edessa. And I wanted to be part of a stable city.
I do hope that that stability will last for a long time.
Me too.
as I do fear that there are things that try to bring down that stability.
Tell me, who do you think does that?
I am not sure, of course, if we're looking at well, our fellow families. I think each family in its own way is trying to achieve the best for itself or for its family members. So over them, I cannot judge. There are always those who, well, as we've seen, try to insult or even worse, try to manipulate others. When it comes to those who are not part of our family, I know of one big threat that I would prefer not to talk about in the middle of the streets, but I'm sure that Lady Madeline could tell you more about her. And of course, there is the situation that your family member, Sister Johanna, has decided to deal with personally, the florist. And then there are still those who, well, wreak chaos in mainly the slums of the city.
It's
There,
such a mad world, and that's why I think you should live your life like it's your last day. What would you do if it was your last day?
I do not know, honestly. I have not thought about what I would do if I would know that I would be gone tomorrow.
Then just let it go.
I I think I would do what I am doing now. I am at this point I can say quite pleased with my current situation. Have I have a very noble sire who is willing to teach me a lot. My family is, well, very helpful. Would not wish for better teachers. And I have a safe place. I am pretty content with my current situation, and all I would want to do is to see if I could pass that happiness, that luck to others in the city. What would you do then on your last day, your last nights?
Mm, you said you prefer honesty, right?
Mm. Yes.
I said I prefer the company of good wine, good dinner, beautiful lips. Well, there are beautiful lips in front of me.
I am I am very honored that you think so.
He takes a deep breath but doesn't say anything.
She's kind of batting her eyelashes and is looking downwards. And he can tell that if she would have the ability, she would definitely blush.
He actually, like, the finger goes and raises her head from her chin.
Yeah, she'll follow the finger, basically.
He takes his hand back quickly because he doesn't want to act weirdly. He is elegant, he is flirty, but he knows that the, how do I say this? He doesn't want Irene. Actually, I don't know how to explain this. Just a second.
Take your time.
He thinks that a touch is enough for Irene to understand what he's after.
mm, God. Well, I mean, in the previous scene, I was being called a medieval troll for for failing to understand these very beautiful hints. So I will make an appearance subterfuge roll to appear as sweet as innocent
Mhm.
as she seems right now, and to appear that she's not completely understanding where he's going at. And she only has 2 successes, so you can definitely. Oh yeah, you see it. You can see that yeah, you can see in her eyes that she understands, but that she is that she would not advance
Mhm.
because mainly she has a reputation to think of. But yeah.
Mhm. You have, as you have said, Irene, you're good at battlefield. You may maybe one day bury us all.
I may very much hope not.
He smiles. I hope not as well. He takes a breath and, no, she was gonna say something. Okay.
No. Go ahead.
He takes a deep breath and then he says, "Your man is getting colder. Maybe we can go back to Elysium or somewhere else."
If that pleases you, of course. You are quite right. It is getting chilly.
What pleases me is individuals being happy along with myself.
The sad thing is that not all of us achieve happiness in the same way. And sometimes these wishes for happiness can't coexist.
Absolutely.
And she'll basically hook her arm in his,
Hmm.
and yeah, they'll start making way to the Elysium.
Okay. Would you like to end the scene there?
Certainly. Thank you for playing, and thank you any watchers for watching. And well, have a lovely night filled with happiness.